Triple H was planned to leave. Evil debuts in WWE. WrestleMania 44 major update. SmackDown viewership drops. Roman Reigns' new opponent plans. Let's talk about it then. Triple H was planned to leave just before WrestleMania. A surprising internal discussion nearly changed everything behind the scenes. According to reports, there were real conversations within WWE about Triple H potentially stepping away from his role. The timing is important. This wasn't random. It happened right before WrestleMania, when creative decisions were reportedly facing increased influence from outside the usual WWE structure. That outside involvement is the key issue here. There was a growing belief backstage that too many decisions were being made beyond WWE's core creative team, which raised concerns about how much control Triple H actually had. And when that kind of situation develops, it naturally leads to questions about trust. Some within the company reportedly felt that if external voices were becoming more dominant, then Triple H's position could eventually be at risk. This update was discussed by Brian Alvarez, adding more weight to the situation. It wasn't about poor booking or creative failure. It was more about the structure of power and decision-making at the top level. But here's where things take a turn. Despite those concerns, Triple H went on to sign a new multi-year contract with WWE. That move clearly signals that, at least for now, the company still has confidence in him and his vision. It also suggests that whatever internal tension existed didn't escalate into anything immediate. Still, this situation reveals something deeper. Even though things are stable right now, the idea that such discussions even happen shows how quickly dynamics can shift in a corporate structure like WWE, especially under TKO leadership. So, while Triple H remains in charge today, the long-term picture might not be as secure as it seems. Evil debuts in WWE. What was supposed to be a surprising debut has instantly turned into a controversial talking point. Evil has officially made his debut in WWE NXT, and while the moment itself carried curiosity, the reaction coming out of it has been far from universally positive. The former New Japan Pro Wrestling star finally appeared after strong backstage reports suggested his arrival was imminent. And now that it's happened, fans are already divided. The biggest criticism isn't about his talent alone. It's about WWE's recent pattern. Over the past few years, WWE has continued to sign recognizable names from NJPW, but very few of them have truly translated into long-term success on the main roster. While exceptions like AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura exist, even Nakamura's current position raises questions about how effectively these talents are ultimately used. And that's where the concern around Evil begins. Many believe that NXT, which has traditionally been a platform to build fresh young stars, is now being used to introduce already established names who may not fit into the long-term vision. At this stage of his career, Evil stepping into a developmental system feels like a confusing move rather than a strategic one. There's also a growing perception that WWE might be prioritizing name value over actual creative direction, because historically, several international signings have struggled to maintain momentum, and in some cases, ended up being released within a short time. So, while Evil's debut is officially in the books, the real question is what comes next. Will WWE prove the critics wrong? Or will this become another example of wasted potential? For now, the conversation is just getting started. WrestleMania 44 major update. A single tease has now sparked massive speculation about where WWE is heading next. During a recent internal meeting, Nick Khan dropped a statement that instantly caught attention. He hinted that the location for WrestleMania 2028, WrestleMania 44, will be something fans don't expect, telling everyone to wait until you hear the announcement. And just like that, the rumors have exploded. Right now, nothing is confirmed, but several strong possibilities are already being discussed. The most talked about option is the United Kingdom. WWE has been aggressively expanding its international presence, and UK WrestleMania will be a historic move, something fans have been demanding for years. With massive stadiums and a passionate audience, it checks almost every box. Another possibility is a return to Las Vegas, especially after recent success in major event hosting. It's a safe choice, but maybe not surprising enough based on the way Khan teased it. Cities like Nashville and Indianapolis have also been mentioned internally, but realistically, they don't generate the same global excitement. Then comes the wild card, India. WWE has previously hinted at bringing major events to India in the future, and while WrestleMania there sounds unlikely right now, the idea alone has fans talking. If WWE truly wants a global shock moment, this would be one. The key detail here is the tone of the tease. This wasn't a normal announcement build-up. It was framed as something big, something unexpected, and that's why expectations are rising fast. At this point, WWE is clearly planning something major for WrestleMania 44. The only question is, will it live up to the hype? SmackDown viewership drops right after WWE's biggest show of the year. The numbers have taken an unexpected dip. The latest episode of WWE SmackDown pulled in around 1.267 million viewers, which marks a noticeable drop of nearly 33,000 viewers compared to previous week. And while that might not seem massive on paper, the timing of this decline is what's raising eyebrows. Just 1 week earlier, the go-home episode before WrestleMania had significantly stronger numbers. That surge was driven by peak hype, stacked segments, and the final push toward the biggest matches of the year. Naturally, expectations were high that WWE would maintain strong momentum coming out of WrestleMania, but that didn't fully translate here. However, there's an important context behind this drop. Historically, post-WrestleMania episodes often experience a cool-down phase once the biggest event is over. Casual viewers tend to step back temporarily, especially if the follow-up storylines don't immediately feel must-watch. That seems to be exactly what happened this time. Interestingly, WWE Raw didn't face the same issue. Raw reportedly held stronger numbers in the 3 million range, showing that audience interest is still there, but may depend heavily on how compelling each show feels individually. This also brings attention to SmackDown's current direction. If the show fails to quickly establish fresh storylines or maintain post-Mania excitement, these small drops could turn into a pattern over the coming weeks. So, while this isn't a crisis yet, it's definitely something WWE will be watching closely, because after WrestleMania, the real challenge begins, keeping the audience hooked. Roman Reigns' new opponent plans. This is one of those matchups that sound surprising, and not entirely in a good way. Reports suggest that Roman Reigns could be set to face Bronson Reed during his current championship run. The update claims that Reed is being considered as one of Roman's potential challengers, and the groundwork for this feud may have already started behind the scenes. What makes this interesting is the existing storyline logic. Bronson Reed has previously pinned Roman Reigns, which gives him a legitimate reason to step up and demand a title opportunity. On top of that, Reed has been subtly fueling the narrative through social media, taking shots at Roman and referencing that victory. So, from a storytelling perspective, WWE does have something to build on. But here's where concern comes in. This matchup doesn't exactly feel like a high-stakes feud. For many fans, it comes across more like a filler program rather than a major storyline that could define Roman's title reign. And that creates a tricky situation. If Roman wins, it's expected. If Reed loses, it could hurt his credibility even more. And if WWE tries to balance things out, the payoff still doesn't feel significant enough. There's also the possibility that this match is being used to fix past booking decisions. Roman getting pinned earlier was a rare moment, and WWE might now be looking to even things out by giving Roman a decisive win over Reed. But realistically, that doesn't add much value to Roman's legacy at this stage. So, while the match might happen, the excitement around it is clearly limited. The real question is, does this feud actually move anything forward? Subscribe for more wrestling news videos.